Like I expected, the weekend was lonely. Saturday was worse than Sunday because I was actually completely alone for that day. Sunday Hondo came over, we played video games for about 2 hours, then she went home. At some point in the afternoon I drank that wine I found in my Japanese class. I don't remember a lot after that. I think I live streamed and I definitely left the house. I remember water, but that's it. I can't remember how I got home, but I woke up in my bed Monday morning. Remembering I had drank and gone out, I was worried that I was taken advantage of. So I showered the gross clammy feeling off my body and checked myself for any marks. I didn't find any and didn't feel injured. I must have gotten really lucky, but there was always a chance something did happen and I just don't know. I thought about putting my hair back up today, but letting perverts see my face sent chills down my spine. I got to school later than I have been. Obviously I wasn't late though. I was on my way to the gym when Noriyori nearly bawled me over. She instantly started lamenting about an anime she had to watch. So we talked some trash about that, until she surprised me with a compliment. It's really stupid, but it made me feel good. I complimented her hair in return and we went back to talking about how stupid anime is. Our first class was Japanese and I was really worried that the teacher would call me out for stealing her booze, but luckily she didn't. After the class ended I said hello to Saikaku and she just stared at me weird. I was worried for a while until she just handed me 1,000 yen. Which was weird, but I appreciated it. We started talking about fitness and suddenly there was that green pervert behind me. I nearly screamed but I kept my head low and ignored him. I kept talking to Saikaku, not looking at Shisaku at all, when he suddenly shoved me against a table. Saikaku got in between us, but I didn't want to fight him. I just ran to the shower room. I found 100 yen in there. If I was weird I'd say it was a sign things would get better. First break came and I went to the back of the class just in time to catch Takaneo and Hondo. We started talking about nothing in particular and Noriyori joined in. Finally I found out where I had gotten the phrase redonkulous. I got it from Hondo. It was kind of a struggle to find one thing we all agreed on, especially when I knew Saikaku was talking to a massive pervert only a desk away. Noriyori eventually left us for. The pervert and Hondo got mad at Takaneo, so I left. After our second last class, which was gym, I started talking to that shy guy with the crown. I think he's a guy at least. He tried to tell me about books, but I wasn't so into it. He still complimented me, which was sweet. We talked about the lesson we just had, but there wasn't much time to dive into interests. People left the classroom pretty quickly. I said a few things to Crown Boy before running home, where I watched a lot of videos. I streamed until I almost passed out and made no money, then I showered before collapsing into bed. I don't think anyone would notice if Tuesday didn't happen. It was just one of those days. I watched some videos before school. Then I sat in an area on the second floor I hadn't noticed, thought for a while, whatever. I talked to Hondo about a lot of different things. Nothing really stuck out. Right before class I very briefly talked to Saikaku. After class I talked to Saburo and Takaneo. During break I found that femboy in a corner being really weird. I talked to Hondo. Went to class. After I talked to Saikaku and Horiyori, but I couldn't find anything we all agreed on. That dark-haired guy finally learned how to speak and we following me around. Luckily Saikaku and Hondo were there because I really don't want to deal with the guys today. The afternoon came and I talked to no one. I went to the shop, then went home. I streamed until I made a little money back. Then I decided to invite Saburo over. And I learned we don't have much in common. He really likes reading, like a lot. I appreciate smart people, but I don't get anything out of books. At least it's not manga, I guess. That stuff gets disgusting. We just listened to music and tried some workout routines. I kept listening to his music after her left. Then I showered and went to bed. Wednesday was unfortunately more quote-unquote eventful than Tuesday. I started the feeling pretty good. I tied my hair up and styled it like I used to. I watched a few videos before leaving my apartment where I found that girl with split hair. I tried talking to her but I couldn't find anything we agreed on before she ran away. I saw a concert poster on the school bulletin board and went to tell Hondo about it. First I had to listen to her complain about some guy called Mizuki. I got to talk to her about how excited I am about the concert. We started setting up a plan of setting aside a whole day to go. But that won't be happening. I started talking about the music Saburo showed me yesterday when she kissed me. I ran to the roof and sat behind some boxes. I felt disgusting. I felt completely violated. I went out into the city, drunk, and woke up the next day in my bed completely fine. But I come to school, with no alcohol at all in my system. I talk to a close friend, and that's when I get violated. That's fucked up, that's unfair, that's ludicrous. Does she just expect me to lie down and take that? She's disgusting. We've talked so much about perverts and she seemed to hate them as much as me. But she's just like those guys that hurt women. Does she think that because she's a woman it won't hurt me? Disgusting? She's disgusting. I feel disgusting. This situation is just disgusting. I missed the first class. I know I'll pay for that later. I found Noriyori and Saikaku in the bathroom getting ready for gym. Even though the conversation started with Noriyori complimenting me, I struggled a lot as we talked. I couldn't find common ground between the three of us, which pissed me off to no end, so I just went to class. After class, that guy with black hair, who I'm pretty sure is called Mizuki, ran over to me to tell me not to go near him, which I wasn't planning on doing anyway. I went and stood at the top of the gym stairs, but Mizuki followed me, and so did Noriyori. I couldn't really get past them, so I tried to talk to Noriyori, but Mizuki kept making snide comments. I put up with it until he walked away and I was able to get to class. After Japanese, I was going to talk to Takaneo, but I heard both Shisaku and the white-haired guy talking about how unlikable I am, so I went and waited in our next class instead. That afternoon I had the debate club. When I got there, Jun was standing outside. He asked me if I was okay, and I asked why he was asking. He told me on Saturday night he saw me stumbling around, so he helped me get home. I apparently recognized him, but he was still concerned when I gave him my address so willingly. I didn't really know how to feel about that, so I thanked him and said I was okay. As for the actual activities, Hiroshi wasn't here tonight, so we did a tournament-style thing. We all got into pairs. I was with Hasegawa, Jun went with Katashi, and Minori was with Sumiko. We were all given the same topic to debate. Me, Jun and Sumiko won. Then me and Jun had to debate with Sumiko separately. I lost and Jun won. So Jun had to debate Sumiko again, but with the rest of us asking them more questions to make them seem less reliable. In the end, Jun won overall and the class was over. I didn't have to see my dad right outside tonight. I had 15 minutes to myself at home before. The next day I watched some videos while eating breakfast before school. I've got less than a month left of having to deal with this place. I guess that's what I'll keep telling myself to keep caring. There was no one for me to talk to when I got to school, so I spent my time stretching and preparing for gym class. I saw Noriyori talking to the blue guy and I figured out why she kept defending them. I watched them kiss and say how much they love each other. I don't know how Noriyori could stomach doing that with a pervert. She's just like Hondo. She preaches women's rights to me then does something like that. I'm actually not sure who's worse, her or Hondo. After gym I heard Blackhair talking about me and Saikaku was telling him not to say the things he was saying. So I approached him and told him how absolutely disgusting he is. After the next class I heard both him and Shisaku talking about me, so I marched on over and told them both to shut up. Mizuki decided to talk back, so I slapped him and Shisaku shoved me. It was me against the two of them until Noriyori pulled her precious boyfriend away. She asked what I was doing and I told her how disgusting Shisaku was, but suddenly I was somehow in the wrong. Obviously there's no way to get through to her, so off to English class I went. Right after the class ended, Saikaku gave me 1,000 yen. This is the second time she's done it. I don't know how to feel about it. Noriyori and Shisaku were practically making out by the bin as I tried to talk to Saikaku, Saburo, and Takaneo. Kissing is against the rules here. I would tell a teacher, but neither of them have ratted me out for what happened at break. Even though they're disgusting, I have to choose the right battles. Until the bell when I just talked to my group about fitness. I was exhausted by the time the final bell rang. From stretching, to gym class, to the fight, to my argument with my dad last night. My body was aching. As I was walking out, Green Hair started talking to me. We've barely talked, but he was much more timid this time. He doesn't like manga, a cabana, or the sexualization of women in media just like me. After we were out of the school's doors we stopped talking. But it felt good to end the day with someone agreeing with me. At home I played some video games and watched videos, just waiting for my dad to show up. But it got around to 7:30 and he still hadn't shown up, so I took a shower and went to bed.
Only 19 more days left, maybe 3 more episodes, I'm unsure. I struggled to make this one 10 minutes long, but it's here. Stay safe, stay happy, please subscribe and goodbye.